Hi guys, Michelle here from Andalery Gardens. I want to show you, well, the compost zone to be. Compost is something I've been trying to wrap my head around for quite a while. So I wanted to use this whole area like for composting, or if we maybe get a big load of mulch and then, well, not mulch, more wood chips, which need to stand a while before we use it in the garden. So I thought this can be the area where we'll do composting and mulch, or maybe compost tea, that kind of thing. So yeah, behind this row of window boxes, I wanted to put a greenhouse, and then this area all over here to do a veggie garden, and then sort of, if I pan out there in the distance there, we'll put fruit trees. So that'll be a video that we'll look at soon. These boxes, I have sort of kind of been composting in the boxes, well, more like, I suppose you would call it lasagna gardening, where they put layers which would then break down and make a soil. So we've had layers of rotting wood, just from the trees that have fallen down over the years, or trees that were cut back. So I've put layers of wood, or my gardeners put layers of wood, and then we've thrown the peels from the house, potato peels, lemon peels, all that kind of thing. So layering it, like layer of wood chips, layer of peels, household scraps, and a layer of cardboard, and then layer of wood, a little bit of soil on top of the scraps, and then more wood. And so we've been repeating the layers in each of the boxes here. So I will update you. You can see there we still need to put wood chips in there. Yeah, there's a little bit of soil, and then the cardboard and the peels and that were underneath. So that is the way sort of to do it on the cheap, so we don't have to use lots of soil. And plus, it's very hot out here in the summertime as the sun comes over this way, which is why I thought it would be a good area also for a vegetable garden. So I'm worried about these boxes baking in the sun in the summer times. The wood chips, they are brilliant at holding the water. If you feel, okay, it's me feeling now, you can't feel, but it literally, it feels like a sponge that holds the water when it's, especially after it's rained. The one day when I was out back, and I was so surprised at how it literally felt like a sponge. It had retained so much water. So this stuff should be brilliant at helping these the soil just to hold on to the moisture a little bit more when I do plant something in these boxes, something along the line of like the Mediterranean plants that can hold on to the water a bit more, rosemaries or lavenders, that kind of thing. I need this to be well, a solid enough little hedge here, so that the dogs don't jump over, because the dogs just go over the boxes. So yes, we need to plant something in here that is going to give it a bit more height and be quite dense enough that they don't hop over it. But what I wanted to do today is, my boxes are nearly full, so now I need to sort out the composting place, and a proper composting place that the dogs won't be in the composting area eating bits of toilet paper or old gem squash peels or whatever the case is. So I want to use this plastic to wrap around this mesh circle that I have here. Maybe if I come from the side, one can see it a bit better besides my shadow. So I'm wanting to wrap that around here so that the compost is almost like baked by the sun, as it would be down on the plastic, and hopefully, become like a little bit of a sauna. Then maybe I might need to sort out some kind of um, cover at the top also, just to keep out the rain. Not that we have a crazy lot of rain, as we're very plagued by drought in the Eastern Cape. So that is the intention. There you can see there's another little wall as well. So we've got the window boxes, and then this wall. This is all the brick oddments that are just stacked to make this lovely little patchwork wall. Behind the wall, yeah, through this little entrance, I want to make a little animal graveyard, as my big Irish wolfhound, he passed away quite a while back. He's buried here, and also some of our other little doggies are buried here as well. So I wanted to make this like a little memorial garden to all our pets. But getting back to here, that blue bin is where we've been throwing the dog poop in every day, and there's a bucket where I've got the bioenzymes that you normally put in the septic tank, just to help break down the doggy poop. So this is sort of kind of like a homemade contraption to break down the doggy poop, like a doggy poop digester, if one can put it this way. But we've yet to see if it works completely properly. But it's been in here for a while, probably for a couple of months. Okay, so the wind blew like crazy yesterday, about 60 kilometers an hour. There were lots of warnings that came along with the cold front. So yes, my compost bin did not do too very well. I need to get longer spikes. These spikes are way too short. The wind just whipped it. I didn't even attempt to put the wire mesh back over again, because the wind was just going to sweep it away. So I just popped it along the fence, yeah, and put some bricks in it to weigh it down. I did want to kind of sort of like weave that metal rebar spikes. I wanted to weave them sort of like kind of through the wire, but the wire is very small mesh, so it's a bit difficult to sort of kind of feed it in and out. I did sort of try to fasten with little wire pieces of wire. You can see there's my piece of wire. I tried to sort of fasten the mesh to the actual rebar, but yeah, that didn't work too very well with those winds. So this is lesson learned. Maybe something that is more fixed, possibly with poles in the ground, and then the mesh attached to it would be better. And if I'm going to use this form of mesh composting, then it will be better with no plastic around it, as the plastic sort of, yeah, makes a solid thing that the wind can't siphon through. So that didn't work too very well, but I'm going to get longer stakes. I think these are only probably about maybe a meter 20. I think I need rebars that are maybe about 1.8. So I will try that first, and if not, then I will just take the plastic off the mesh circle, and then we'll see how it goes. The reason I sort of used this mesh was that the holes are quite small, so we won't have the dogs sort of going and digging around in the compost, or even, I suppose, rats could probably nibble through the plastic and try and sort of get through there. But we learn as we go along, so maybe something fixed might be better. I did the plastic sort of also with the thinking that if it's enclosed with plastic on the outside, and I possibly do some form of lid which is also closed with plastic, it would kind of sort of create a lot of moisture and condensation and almost like sweat and that inside there, and bake hot, which might make the compost faster, all the stuff which I'm chucking in there to compost faster. But yes, the wire mesh without the plastic stood fine. That didn't blow away because obviously it's mesh. So yes, lessons learned. This is a little bit later after the first clip, probably about a month or two or so. You can see it's about quarter the way full now, and we've had no more problems with the wind. I didn't put new stakes in, but I did move the stakes to I just moved their position so that maybe the hole was a bit loose at the bottom. The day that I put this in was a very, very windy day. Well, even when we were trying to fasten the plastic, it was windy, and when we were trying to put it over the stakes, it was windy. But the weight of the compost in here does seem to have been holding it. So far so good, but in the long term, a more fixed option I think might be a better bet. But I'm sort of new to composting, still trying to wrap my head around it, so maybe we'll change as we go along. But for now, at least my stuff is not in an open heap. I just need to still sort out a top for this, but I don't turn anything. I figure when it's full, then maybe I can start turning then. So we're currently just throwing all the peels and stuff from the kitchen, and then I'm so scared of all the thorny things. I had to cut the pyracantha, clear it at the bottom so that I could weed below it. So all those kind of things there are all sort of the thorny things. I thought, let me put them in here, then they are safe and away from anybody standing on them, including the dogs. And then yes, this is the heap of horrible creepers that was clinging to everything in the blue and purple garden area. So I've just popped that onto a sheet of plastic. So that is sort of another intention in this area. Yeah, when we come along with these kind of, this is the one creeper, it gets these little, like, there you go, this little korreltjie thing. Yeah, you can see how easily, now this stays in the ground, and this is like so hard to eradicate. It is quite a fleshy thing. We had a huge big tree, and this thing was growing up the tree, and it killed a whole big branch of a huge big coral tree. So yeah, this is not a very friendly creeper. So I've sort of tended to put all of these kinds of things that we don't want to put in the normal composting just on the plastic, so the sun can bake it dry and just reduce it a bit, and then I might possibly put it in the compost bin then, when I know for sure that it's dead and there's not any live bits that might get happy and decide to root. So hopefully, yeah, the compost journey will continue to grow stronger and stronger and become easier as we go along. I will learn new methods and more effective methods, but I think my compost journey is only beginning. But at least I've got a compost zone, because I did ponder composting zone for a long time before we actually settled on an area. But yes, I feel quite positive that I'll learn all the tricks of the composting story.